Hello adventurers and welcome to another Black Desert Mobile Guide. Today I just wanted to go over Merchant Tree and kind of give you the reasons for why it's so good, and then also kind of give you some tips for how to set yourself up for success and how to actually be running these Merchant Tree runs. With that being said, I did want to talk about why it's so good. So there's a couple of reasons. The main thing that you're going to be getting from Merchant Tree that's probably like the best resource is going to be black pearls. There's a lot of black pearls available in Merchant Tree, and then especially the higher your level, the more black pearls you'll be able to get. But on top of that, you'll also be able to get a lot of life skill resources, so like wild grass, rugged boulders, and logs. You'll get a lot of them from doing Merchant Tree. But I did want to circle back to these black pearls. Black pearls in Merchant Tree are really good, especially for players who've been playing for a long time. Whenever you first start out, you get a lot of black pearls from doing knowledge, from either boss rushes or constellations. But as your levels get higher, you'll start seeing a lot less black pearls, so you are going to need a more consistent way to be getting them, and Merchant Tree is definitely the answer for that. Really quickly, I guess, why black pearls are so good: you can get a lot of good items from the pearl shop with black pearls, so I'm gonna just kind of show you really quickly what I recommend you can get. So if you were to go down to miscellaneous, you go to etc., there's some really good stuff in here, and the things that I would say always get are going to be like the black shrine entry passes. Those are really good, but then also there are some fairy items available that you can get with black pearls. Those are also pretty decent. And then there's also citron tea, so there's pretty decent stuff in here. And then I think it's also under special packs if you do daily box of wonders. These are supposedly really good, but I think it's kind of expensive, so there's a few uses for black pearls. You can buy them if you want, you can ignore me if you want, that's okay. But I did just want to let you know that eventually you will come to a point where you need more consistent ways for black pearls, and Merchant Tree is definitely the answer to this. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about all of the basics for Merchant Tree first, but for each one I'll be giving you like my tips for what you should be doing, again, just to set yourself up for success. If you just follow these, you should have a pretty easy time. It's kind of like I'll show you how to set up everything, and then after that, just make sure that you're doing Merchant Tree on a daily basis. But with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get started. So really quickly, I did just want to give you like an overhead list of all the basics that I'll be covering, and then again I'll kind of give you those recommendations for what you should be doing. But here's the list. So we're going to talk about wagons, horses, workers, moving your camp. I'll show you the different routes that you should be taking. And then also I'll kind of go over like all the basics such as events, elixirs, Morco, reputation, buying and selling. So like what are good ways to actually be like buying and selling your items while you're in here, exchanging your items, and then finally I'll give you my tips on like my recommendations for how to get very fast XP. So like how to launch your Merchant Tree level to a pretty high level in like your first run. But again, with that being said, let's get started. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was going to be wagons. As you can see, I'm Merchant Tree level 1 on this account right now. This is my alt account, my main account. It's at level 100, so don't be fooled by this. But I did kind of want to show you like my new account, so that way I could show you how much XP I got just for my first run, and then we can kind of speed run Merchant Tree after that. But for wagons, there are different tiers. For each different tier, you do need different Merchant Tree levels. So the second one is at Merchant Tree level 10, the third one's at level 15, and then once you get to 25, this is where it starts to get really good. I think you can actually skip the second wagon, but let's just take a look at what are the difference with all of these. So for each wagon, every time you upgrade, it increases your food capacity. So whenever you do Merchant Tree, you have a daily food limit, and then you also have only so much food that you can take in one trip. On top of that, each wagon will change their inventory weight. So whenever you're doing Merchant Tree runs, you'll have special trade goods in there, and those trade goods, they do have weight to them. So this will kind of limit how much stuff you can actually have in there. Anytime that you can upgrade, I recommend upgrading. However, it does take 2 days to make the higher wagons, so just kind of keep that in mind. Is it even worth making some of these? Probably not, and I'll kind of show you why that is here in a little bit. But what I would say is you could probably go from your first wagon all the way to your third wagon all in one day. But then also after that, anytime that you have a wagon upgrade, make sure that you are upgrading. Once you get to grade 4, there's something a little special about this one. So you're going to be using your resources a lot faster with this wagon just because your consumption rate is increased. And what that means is for however much food you have, based on the distance that you're going, you're going to be using more food than if you were using a smaller wagon. So that will feel kind of weird at first, but it's actually worth it, I promise. And the main reason is just because you can buy more food, you can exchange more items, you have more food that you can buy from each one of these vendors, and then you also get increased sales quantities. The main thing in merchantry is the amount of money that you sell, and that's going to correlate directly to your level. There's a couple of other things, but that main thing is going to be the amount that you sell. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show for wagon. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was going to be your horse that you harness onto these wagons. So for each wagon, you have different capacities for horses. So 1 through 3, you can only have 1 horse. For tier 4, you can have 2 horses, and then for tier 5, you can have 3 horses. These horses are really important just because based on the tier of horse that you have, it will actually increase your capacity for food. So as you can see, my base capacity is like 15,700, but because I have a tier 7 horse, my food capacity increased by 6%. My main recommendation is make sure that you have tier 8 horses on your wagon. It's the best horse that you can have, honestly. And I think it's actually kind of worth it. It's not that much of a difference, but if you can make a couple of tier 8 horses, it'll really kind of go a long way, especially since merchantry is something that you have to do every single day. So that 1% difference really will impact your merchantry. So with that being said, the next thing that I wanted to talk about was going to be your workers. So if you go into your actual merchantry tab, you will have manage escorts. So for manage escorts, the main thing here is have the highest grade workers that you can have, so the yellow tier workers, and then also make sure they're at a pretty decent level as well. So like level 25 and up. I would honestly say like level 30 and up is good. But always make sure that you're using the same workers and make sure that they're yellow. If you're a newer player, I would honestly say it's still worth using these yellow workers, just because in the long run, you don't want to be swapping your workers. You want to make sure that all of their experience is accruing on the same workers for pretty much the life of your characters. So every time that you do an event, your workers are going to be getting XP, and this XP is going to change the rewards and the amount of rewards that you can get. So again, make sure that you're doing that. Make sure that you're using the same workers. Make sure that they are yellow. You can take them out to do other things. So like these workers, I have them for like their highest skill is vitality, so I can send them off to node management. Just as long as they're ready by the next day and that I put them back in here, that's all I really care about, is making sure that I can put them back in here and they're not off doing something else. But that's pretty much all you need to know for workers, is they're going to increase your rewards and their levels do level up, but it's specific only to that worker. So make sure you use the same ones and they are all the highest grade. The next thing that I wanted to talk about, which is really important, is going to be moving your camp. So whenever you're doing merchantry, you have a specific route and it's kind of based on the map. So if you were to go to move camp, your route is going to be like Southwest Calpheon, North Calpheon, Neutral Border Zone, Serendia, Balanos, North Media, and South Media. That's 7 different locations. So you want to be smack dab in the middle. And the one that's smack dab in the middle is Serendia. So what you want to do at your earliest convenience is make sure that you move your camp to Serendia. It will take 2 days to move your camp, but it's definitely worth it. I think also whenever you select to move your camp, you need to like designate workers to be moving it. So just kind of pick whatever workers you want, and you should be pretty much good to go. Again, it is 2 days, so just kind of sit back, relax, do anything else until it's done. But with that being said, the next thing I wanted to talk about was going to be your routes. I did kind of show you already, but let's go into merchantry, and then I'll show you my route really quickly. So whenever you're in merchantry, what you really want to be doing is going from west to east or east to west. For the earlier levels, it won't really matter as much. Just make sure that over the course of the week that you are going from one end to the other end, and then from that end all the way back. Most people, they skip southeast Calpheon, so keep that in mind. So really where you want to be going is Trent to Bear, from Bear to Calpheon, Calpheon to Ephyria, Ephyria to Florin, Florin to Delph Outpost, Delph Outpost to Glish, and then Glish to Heidel. Heidel, you'll go to Western Guard Camp, and then Western Guard Camp over to Velia. From Velia, you will go to Kusha, and then Ruins Excavation Site. From Ruins Excavation Site, you'll go over to Tarif, and then Aboon, and then Alta Nova. So this is the route that I use. I know some people kind of switch it up. I don't know why, but I think like at different levels, it kind of changes. But what you'll want to do eventually is to manage your preset routes. So at level 10, you'll want to make all of this preset, where basically it's just going to list the next place that you need to go. And that's kind of going to help you just because you'll get a better feel for what's selling. So if I were to go to set destination for Heidel and then set destination for Glyph, what it's going to do is it's going to list these two in order from what I just did. But having these on the list of, hey, I'm going to these next, it's going to show me some pretty good information when I go into the trade shop. So if I have this little blue flag, it means that at my very next destination that I have scheduled on my route, they're going to be buying it there. So it's a good indicator of, oh, I should probably just buy this now because the next place that I'm going, I can sell it there. So just while I'm on this this specific screen, there are a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. The first thing is going to be this food. Always, always, always make sure that you're buying food whenever you visit these trade shops. This is going to pretty much just increase the duration of your run, and it's practically for free. It's like it's really, really cheap. So always make sure that you're doing that. And then also, the next thing that I wanted to talk about was going to be your rapport. So for each trade vendor and each town and city, you're going to have to build up your rapport all the way to 200. Rapport is kind of weird because the max that you can get just from doing merchantry is 170. Whenever you're doing rapport, you're gonna get to 170, but then after that you actually have to go back outside of merchantry, go to that town, talk to that vendor, and then build your amity with them. So I'll show you that here in a second, but I did just kind of want to let you know that this is really, really important, and you'll need to be, I guess, refreshing your rapport by buying items from them. So two things: whenever you buy items from a vendor, your rapport will go up, but then also whenever you buy items, your rapport duration, or I guess since the last time that you had bought something from them, will reset. So I had never bought anything from this one, so it says day 0, but if you go past 7 days, your rapport will start to go down. The reason rapport is so good is at 200, you can start to buy black pearls. So this is from the exchange. So if you were to go to exchange, you need certain amounts of rapport to actually unlock these exchange items. The things that I actually think are worth buying, I'll kind of list them really quickly. Black pearls, definitely buy black pearls. I skip pretty much everything else. I think they're too expensive, but I always buy Crow's Merchant's Elixir, and I'll kind of talk a little bit more about Elixir here in a second. And then I buy this other one as well. So there's 2 grades. There's like a mystical, and then there's an epic one. Always buy those. Those are really good. Everything else, it's kind of expensive, but anytime you can exchange wild grass, logs, or rugged boulders, you're going to end up with a net positive, so you might as well just do that every time they pop up. But again, pretty much everything else is just a little too expensive for my taste, so I skip them. If you have enough resources to get Hadum and Elion passes, you can get them if you want. But yeah, it's definitely your choice. And then these spirit stones, again, it is your choice as well. But again, just make sure that you build up 200 rapport, and you'll pretty much be good to go. What I'm gonna do really quickly is just I'm gonna buy all of these resources early on. Just because my character's at level 1, I'm gonna be buying all the resources I can get. This is kind of a more advanced tip, but once you've mapped out your entire route, you'll be able to see when you click onto those resources, how many spots do they actually buy these resources, and are you even visiting them? So if I was like all the way on the west and I still had to visit all 3 of these sites, I would know, okay, I only need X amount of them. So because I'm a new character, I'm a new account, I would only need 300 max of these. So if I went to other places, I know I don't want to have 400 of these in my inventory because I can only sell them in 3 places. Again, that is a little bit more advanced. You'll learn it the more you do this. I want to kind of keep this basic, and if I need to, I'll go onto my main account and I'll show you like some more advanced stuff as well. But yeah, that's basically the main takeaway, is make sure that you're doing this to get your rapport up. Make sure that you're doing merchantry pretty much every day. And then also, if you just want like a quick and easy way to reset your rapport, you can always do dispatch. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go outside of the town, and I'm going to show you a couple of things really quickly, and then I will I'll come back into merchantry. So like I was saying before, you can only get your rapport so high. The place that I was at was Western Guard Camp, so I came over here, and what you'll want to do for all of these maps is go to your NPC list and then go to the trader. Once you're at the trader, what you'll want to do is just do amity. And the main thing here is you're going to want 100% amity. And that's just because that's going to give you that last 30% of rapport inside of merchantry. So once you have this, it won't go down. So just kind of keep that in mind. It actually can go down if you like do something else, like if you do rapport quests from other NPCs in this area, but for the most part it should not go down. The easiest way to build rapport is just talk about their interests. So like you can do that. All it costs you is stamina, and their rapport is going to go up. Or you can do like these different quests. So it's like you just have to talk to someone. It's super easy, super simple. But like I said, it can lower the rapport for other NPCs. So what I normally do is just go for ones that are positives for both. Or I just keep it simple and I give gifts to them, or just do their interests. So I like spam click their interests. So for some reason, whenever I click it, it's not letting me like just spam click. What I'm having to do is like click it once, go to the next one, go back. So this might be like a quick tip for you, is just do this. So just really quickly before I go back in, I had kind of already said this, but again, your rapport, it does reset after 7 days. But I guess an easy way to get your rapport timer to reset is just going to family dispatch. So on your menu, you just go to dispatch and then go to merchantry. And you can pretty much send them anywhere, and it will reset your rapport timer for all of the vendors in all the areas. So that's really, really good. The only thing is, to unlock it, you have to be level 20. So that's not like super high entry level, but just kind of make sure that you do not let your rapport go below 200. But now that I've done the amity with that trade vendor, what I'm going to do is go back into merchantry and show you the results. So back here in merchantry, we're going to go back to the trade vendor this time. So I completely forgot. You can actually do the amity from within merchantry. The only thing is you actually have to reach that location. So you can either do it in the outer world, or you can just do it here, whichever one works best for you. But the main thing that I wanted to show was this right here is now go to trade shop. And then you have that base 30 rapport just by having your amity. at the max. Again, that's really good, and you'll need to make sure that you do that in every single location. So with that being said, there are a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. The first one's gonna be just events that happen in the world while you're doing merchantry, but then I want to talk about Elixirs and Morco. So let's go ahead and let's select a destination. So before we move anywhere, what I want to show you is the map. If you look at the map, you can have a pretty good view of everything that's like in the area. Each one of these dots are events. You can hide certain events. So if you don't want to see the normal ones, you can do that. Or if you just want to see like epic, you can unselect everything and you can see, oh, they're only over here. What I would do is I just leave them all on there. It's not really worth deselecting them, but you can actually change your settings. So if I were to just kind of walk up to these events right now, because I'm at level 1, nothing's gonna happen. You have to manually click onto these at least until you're level 20. So I'll show you this right here. At merchantry level 20, you can select auto start events, which you will 100% want to do. And then once you do that, you can kind of select which kind of events you want. So the events that you have are foraging, logging, mining, loot, which is just kind of like gold bars stacked on top of each other, and then there's combat. So these levels are going to be affected by your workers. So if you do certain tasks, your workers' levels will go up for that specific task that they accomplish. So again, from level 1 to 20, you'll have to manually click onto these. You'll have to sit here and wait for it to be done. But once it's done, you'll get a lot of XP. So right here, from what we just saw, I'm gonna like take a screenshot and I'll talk about it. But there's different tiers. If your total level for all of your workers adds up to a certain amount, you'll get bonus rewards for those specific tasks that you do. The main thing that I kind of want to talk about right now though is going to be these elixirs. You can see that I don't have a lot, but these elixirs are really good for a couple of reasons. So if I were to just be walking around, like if I were to autopath, again, I'm going to be going really slow, first of all, just because my wagon kind of sucks. But if I were to use these elixirs, I go faster and I instantly collect these tasks, I guess. So as you can see, my level's going up really fast right now. I do highly encourage buying elixirs anytime that you can see them or anytime that you get them. The ways that you can get them is by exchanging them again in different towns, or what you can do is you can buy them from Patrigio's special shop. So that's something that I very highly recommend. But then also from time to time, Morco, the wandering merchant, will appear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you Morco here in a second. So you can do two things. You can either auto path over to him and use a lot of food resources to get there, or what you can do is use this orange elixir. So I'm going to click it and then I can instantly teleport to him. So this is really good for a couple of reasons. You can buy more of these and then you can buy some other stuff. So sometimes he has like pets available, and then you can also sell to him. So I'm going to exit this merchantry run and I'm going to show you why selling to Morco is so good. At early levels, you can only sell like 3 at a time, so you can't make a lot of XP, but I'm going to show you that I can make a ton of XP just by selling this. So just as a quick recap, whenever you do these events, you get merchantry chests. The orange sealed chests are going to be the ones where you get black pearls from as well. So you can get black pearls from either exchanging in towns or from these chests. Moving on to how to get very fast XP. The first thing is obviously use those elixirs that I just showed you, but as I just talked about Morco, you can sell some special trade goods. So if you go to craft, go to material, and then go to special trade goods, you can make these items right here, and these are gonna get you a lot of XP. My personal favorite ones are gonna be the rolling crystal decoration set and the rolling crystal, or the rolling lightstone decoration sets. The reason I say the sets is just because you get a lot more XP from selling these, and they have the same weight value as these other ones. You'll get roughly like a third for these individual ones. So as you can see, you only need 1 crystal, and it needs to be mystical to make those, whereas you need 3 to make the set. I'll kind of show you really quickly just like how to get these. So as you can see, I just have them right there, but you can get these from different crystal chests. So right here we have these crystal chests. I think a really good way to get these chests is by doing Aieli Rift. So every time that you do a boss rush through Aieli Rift, you'll get one of these world boss crystal chests. You'll end up getting a lot of those mystical crystals from this, so just make sure that you do that. And that's like how I ended up boosting, like I got a lot of these. So as you can see, I have 67 of the sets. That's gonna get me a lot of XP. But the other one is gonna be from lightstones. So if you have these lightstone fragments, what I would do is just take them out, go to obtain lightstone, and what you're gonna do is go to Holy Vials of Light and make sure that you are not fusing mystical grade. So save those settings, and then what I normally do is just do special shop. And then every time that I offer, I'm getting some of these mystical ones. So once I have a pretty good amount of those, what I would do is, again, just go to craft, go to material, go to special trade goods, and then I will trade these in for some rolling lightstone decoration sets. But once you have all of these items, all you're going to want to do is go back to merchantry. You'll go to trade goods, and you can do like you can either like select them individually. So for me, because I can only sell like 3 at a time, I'll get like 12. And then what I would do is put 12 or 15, however many you want of each type. So that way, whenever you do see Morco, you can sell these to him. The reason I'm only going for 12 is just because I'm not going to be able to see Morco that often. And if I have my wagon storage still filled with other stuff, whenever I visit a town, I can sell that to the vendor, and I'll still make a pretty good amount of XP. So you're not going to want to like you're not going to want to put everything in there, because then you're just wasting your weight. Whereas I know I'm not going to sell that many in one trip. So just kind of make your best guess, I guess, for how many you'll actually be using. And then just kind of go from there. So something that I forgot to mention, and this is actually really cool. This is, I don't think enough people talk about this or do this, but you can always like leave the run and be in the same spot that you were originally. So you can buy more of these resources and your rapport is going to go up. So you could just buy these resources. The special ones don't make your rapport go up, so just buy the blue ones. And then what you can do is just leave. Once you exit merchantry, you didn't use any food, you haven't lost anything. The only thing that you're going to be losing is time. However, this is a very tedious way to try and get max rapport. I know that on my main this works because you can buy a lot more goods at once, but I think at lower levels, eventually you will be capped out. The reason I say all this costs is time is because it takes 1 minute to get back into merchantry. So it's kind of up to you if you want to try to like boost your rapport with a certain character. You can go in there, buy their goods, leave, and then go back in. And then once your weight or your inventory is full, what you can do is you can just take these out. So then you have max inventory again. So it's definitely up to you. Just kind of keep that in mind that you can do that. And it is a pretty good way to get your rapport back to 200 all in one day. At lower levels, obviously you probably can't like reach every destination, but at like higher levels, like 70, you could probably go to every single location and get it back to 200 in one day. And then again, once we're in here, we buy this again, and as you can see, my rapport is going up. Again, I don't think this is worth it at an early level, just because, gosh, I'm getting like no rapport whatsoever. So for right now, my main goal is really just boosting my levels. Because I'm boosting my levels, the only thing I really care about right now are hitting all of these events. So what I'm gonna do is just go to the map and look at what's my best route to get a lot of XP. It's gonna be going up here and then going down through here and up. Hopefully Morco will pop up again as well, so that way I can sell some stuff to him. So let's go ahead and let's use this elixir, and let's just run around and grab some XP. You kind of waste a lot of food by doing this, but for the early levels, I really don't care. And then Morco just popped up. What I'm gonna do is grab these orange ones and then we'll teleport. All right, so now we'll teleport to him. Right now we're at level 7.5. So what we're gonna do is talk to Morco. If there were elixirs here, I would buy them. And then the main thing again is just look at these. So we're gonna sell 3 of these, which is gonna be 40 million silver. Doesn't sound like a lot, but we went from level 7 to level 11, which that is really, really good. So we're also gonna sell these, which again, this is like a third of the price. And now we're level 12, and then we're gonna sell these rolling lightstone decoration sets. And now we're level 13. So a couple of things to note in here is just this percentage right here. The higher the percentage, the more money that you'll be getting from this, but you're gonna be getting a lot either way. I don't think you should be worrying about it. Just sell if you have enough and collect your XP, because really my main goal right now is just get to a point where I can upgrade my wagon. So now that I'm level 16, I have access to my tier 3 wagon. So this is kind of why I was saying you can skip your tier 2 wagon. You do have to have all of those resources that I had available, and you had to have like some of them saved up. So like those rolling stone chests, you don't need a lot, especially early on, and because of the seasonal character, you should have plenty of access to these chests right here. So I had a lot of them, and I still have a lot of them. The only thing is make sure that you don't offer these light stones up to be vials of light. So like any of the mysticals, you'll want to hold on to them. You don't want to make them into holy vials of light. So just keep that in mind. And then that should give you a lot of XP. So anytime Morco pops up, go to him. And anytime that you see those elixirs, make sure that you buy them. Again, you can buy them from Patrigio, you can buy them from Morco himself, or you can trade them with any of these vendors in the exchange tab. So you can exchange certain resources for them, but definitely make sure that you're buying those. So I did kind of want to make another note really quickly. I have still my max food capacity. Like I can still go for a whole entire run. So I'm at 16,000 left, and while I was doing this, my level was going up, so my max daily food supply also went up. So I think I started at like 33,000 as my max daily food supply, but as I've been going, it's now at 50,000. I'm basically still starting fresh. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some more of these decoration sets. We're gonna go for another run. I think the issue is though, I am gonna run out of elixirs. So really quickly, what I'm going to do is go to Patrigio and see if I can buy some. So here in the secret shop, you have a chance of buying them. But what I wanted to talk about as well was if you do the story, Patrigio's secret business, I believe you have a higher chance of getting them. I could be wrong about that, but that's just my feeling is whenever I play on my main and I've done this, I get a lot more of those elixirs, whereas when I play on my alt account, I don't get as many of them. So as you can see right here, there's a Crow's Merchant elixir, so I'll make sure to buy that, and then you can just kind of keep viewing the products. So far this guide has really only been about like beginners and like managing the wagon. I know that a lot of these tips do apply to pretty much any level, but if you're at like level 40 or 50, maybe you're not getting as much XP. This all still applies. So if you're at level 25, make sure that you have this wagon, just because once you're at that level, you can actually sell a lot more stuff to Morco. So you'll still want to be selling those decoration sets, and you'll be getting a lot more XP. So as soon as you get to level 25 for your wagon, make sure that you upgrade that, and then same thing for level 45. These wagons are really, really good. They're going to make your runs last a lot longer, but then also you'll be moving a little bit faster in certain wagons as well. Again, just kind of keep that in mind. If you think like, oh, this is only for like new players, like no, most of these things can be applied to like anyone. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to finish up my merchantry route. I'm going to use like all of my food, and then I'll talk to you once I'm done, and I'll give you like my closing remarks and statements. So now that I'm actually able to create routes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make the routes from the east to the west. And then if you want to do from west to east, just do all the spots, but backwards. So what you're going to do is, well, actually, first of all, just know that you cannot do the very first town or the town that you're in. So just kind of keep that in mind. You'll want to end like on this spot at the furthest most east, so that would be Altanova. And then what you're gonna do is set destination for a boon, for tariff, go to North Media, do it for ruin excavation site, Kusha, go over to Balenos, go to Velia, and again you're setting the destination. Then do Heidel, Glish, go over towards neutral border zone, do Delph Outpost, go to North Calphion, do Florin, to Ephyria, to Calphion, and then finally you're going to go to Southwest Calphion, and you're going to do Bear into Trent. So whenever you do this, you're going to have this list, and it's the exact same order that you just put it in. Normally, if it's from east to west, so where I'm at going over to the left side, I'll put it on my second route. So to save this, all you're gonna do is manage preset routes, and then you'll click save, and then you manage which one that you want. So I want this on my second one. And then whenever I finally do get over to Trent, what I'm gonna do is the exact same thing, but backwards, and then I'm gonna save that for my route 1. So now whenever I do like I don't know, if I were to reset and I have nothing here, all I have to do is click my route and it is set up for me. So now whenever I go to trade shop, I can see, oh, these items are gonna be bought in the next 2 spots. So again, this kind of gives me an idea of what items I should be buying, so that way I know what I can sell here in the future. But again, if you were to look at the actual trade shop, you'll see how many times they actually buy on the map. So again, just kind of keep that in mind. So again, my main goal right now is just getting XP, and like I said, the best way to be getting XP is to be selling to Morco. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna ignore the route. I'm not gonna do anything with it. I'm just gonna walk around until he pops up, and then I'm gonna path to him. Once I path to him, I'm just gonna sell to him, and I'll exit and I'll do it again. I'll keep doing that until I'm out of food, and I'll pretty much be done with the run. So now that I'm actually level 20, I can kind of show you this again. If you were to go to Merchantry Dispatch, you can just select the area, you can select Dispatch, and then you'll just send one of your characters out to it. It kind of will change the amount of time that they're out based on which one of these you're doing, and then based on the difficulty, or I guess the area that you're doing, you'll use a certain amount of food. Whenever you use this food, it is coming from your daily foods. It is coming from your daily food supply. So if I were to do Balenos, I could do this, I think maybe 3 times times. But if you go higher, you can really only do it one time. So like I think it's level 80 and up, you can only do it one time for the day, and you'll be done. So again, this does reset your rapport timer, so this is really helpful if you're just not feeling like doing merchantry. And then also for certain difficulties, you can be getting some black pearl chests, and I think that starts in Serendia. So again, I did just want to let you know that. So just while I'm still working on my levels, what I really should have done is just start at one town, walk until Morco pops up, and then use my elixir. I basically wasted all of my elixirs, just kind of showing you that you can gather all of these resources. But really what I should have done was just walk it out, and then as soon as Morco spawns, I should have used the elixir, gone straight to him, and that would have saved me a lot of these. So let's just go ahead and let's path to Morco now. But yeah, that probably would have been like the best way to be boosting my level, is just walk once he pops up, teleport to him, leave merchantry, and do it again over and over. But for now, like, it is what it is. Okay, so I ended up getting to level 25, so that's really good because I can now get my tier 4 wagon. But what I wanted to show again were these merchantry settings. So you can auto start events, and I highly recommend, once you're not doing what I'm doing, which is like quickly boosting your level, turn this on. And then make sure that all the events are turned on. You can skip normal in my opinion, just because like it does kind of like waste time if you do that and you're not getting like a crazy amount of XP. But if you want to get like the max XP that you can get, go ahead and do that. The only thing is it does take a little bit of time to actually be doing these, and I think you lose a little bit of food doing all of these events. But what I would do is turn pretty much everything on, save that setting, and then whenever you start doing normal routes, you can pretty much just like sit back, relax, and auto path to the next place every time. For me personally though, I don't think I'll have it on for now, just because I can keep boosting my level just by visiting the Wandering Merchant pretty much anytime he's up. Like for right now, anytime that I have the resources that I need, so those decoration sets, I'm just going to be going to the Wandering Merchant because he is the quickest way to be getting XP. So early on, you will have very irregular routes if you do what I'm doing, but after that, it should be just do those route presets, go ahead and turn on auto start event, and yeah, you should have a pretty good time after that. So after level 25, your XP from doing this this Morco actually goes down by a pretty good amount. However, once you upgrade your wagon to the tier 4, you'll be able to sell more of these resources. So you're going to be burning your resources a lot more, at least for those decoration sets, but you still will be getting a lot of XP all in one go. Again, just the reason why this the auto start event is so good is just because early on, you're not going to have a lot of elixirs. I ran out of all of my elixirs, so make sure that you do go back to doing a normal route, which is just from east to west or west to east, and then anytime that you can sell something, sell it to the vendor, or anytime that you can exchange stuff that you want, make sure that you're buying those elixirs. But with that being said, that's pretty much everything that I have to show for right now. But what I am going to do for right now is just kind of give you, like, again, the main takeaways from everything. So first things first, make sure that you move your camp to Serendia. That's going to be very, very helpful because in the middle of your route, wherever your camp is, you can actually refill your food. But then also for your trading post, if you do what I did, you can skip tier 2, tier 3 wagon. But tier 4, make sure that you craft it at your earliest convenience. It does take 2 days to actually craft, so the earlier you can do it, the better. And then once you can do tier 5, make sure that you have that. The other thing is, for your horses, make sure that you have the highest tier horse possible that you can put onto your wagon. So for right now, I'll be putting tier 7 horses, but I'll be making extra tier 8s, so that way I can swap them out as soon as I have them. I do have a guide on making horses if you're interested in that. But again, just make sure that you're doing that. And then anytime that you have an opportunity to buy elixirs, make sure that you're buying those elixirs. So you can get them from Patrigio, from the Wandering Merchant, or from exchanging in each one of these towns. Whenever you are talking to these vendors in the towns, make sure that you have amity of 100 for each one of those vendors. So go out into the actual like game world, go to those vendors and build your amity to 100 with them, and that'll kind of help you build your rapport with them as well. So once your rapport is 200, just make sure that you're selling to them once a week, and that'll keep your rapport at 200. Or if you need to and you're not like doing merchantry, make sure that you are doing dispatch just to reset your rapport with everyone on the map. When I say reset, it just means the timer, not like set it back to 0. The other thing is, for your route, make sure that you are following that route just from east to west or west to east, just because that's gonna keep you pretty consistent, but then also it just shows you the items that you need to sell. And then again, the advanced tip was look at how many times someone's actually buying those items in the map. If they're only buying it 2 times, make sure that you only have enough resources of that particular type to sell in 2 towns and not like have excess. And then for the early levels, again, my main tip is just make sure that you are crafting these special trade goods. You can craft as many as you can, and then just kind of sell them off whenever you can as well. I think these are really good for boosting your levels early on. As you saw, I went from level 1 to 25 all in one day, so that was really nice, really helpful, because I get to just skip straight to tier 4 wagon. You might not be in the same position as I was, just because I already had like a handful of elixirs. I really didn't have a lot of elixirs, but based on like how you use those elixirs, it'll go a long way for you. But with that being said, that's pretty much everything that I had for today. I know that this was a very long guide. I did not mean for it to go this long, so I'll try to edit it down, but hopefully you got some really good information out of this. Merchantry is, again, very important just for your black pearls, and I definitely hope this helps. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.